Hello there, it's Mike.
And Katie.
It's episode 205.
Spring Break RADnesia, John Wick edition, plus more.
This week on Cup of Rad. Spring break! Bah, 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 bah. It hasn't been that kind of spring break for us, no. It's been like...
that is so different than the opening. You were like smooth jazz, like... late nights, and then you went to like spring break beach party. Like that was very juxtaposed.
Yeah. So that's my inside my brain.
That's you. Okay.
Yep. I guess we could always just talk like this the entire time.
Spring break.
Hey, cup of ratters out there, how you doing? You listen to us in your underpants? Cause that's what we're doing for you right now. Oh yeah.
Are we in our underpants?
We could be.
Okay.
One more beer and we're set. Spring break! Bah, bah, bah.
See, my lack of underwear or pants works for either one of those versions. So, all jokes aside, I do have pants on. I am also drinking what it has kind of like a alcoholic root beer float, and it's amazing. Mike made a creation with chocolate porter, coffee, beer, whiskey. We've had this before from Dead Frog Brewery with the chocolate whiskey, and he added Bailey's to it.
Because why not?
Because we have all this alcohol left over from Christmas, and we should probably be drinking it, and it tastes like a root beer float. It's amazing.
So,
good job.
So it's been spring break. It's been spring break.
Not for me.
This week has...
Let's just remind everyone, I don't get that.
Yeah. This spring break has like just been flying by though.
I told Kiddo, by the way, spring break's half over, and he
cried.
Yeah.
Fetal position.
Oh my goodness. I'm actually kind of sad that this beer is going to be gone. This is delicious. Fetal, yeah, a little bit. Really upset.
Yeah.
Really upset. You know what? As much as I can say I complain that I don't get spring break, it is a vacation-esque of me, of the craziness in the mornings, the school traffic, the worrying about getting kiddo to bed on time. There is a vacation element to mine as well. So I don't look forward to school going back in either.
You know, a few more days, and then we're back at it.
Yeah.
Back to the normal grinder. So, yeah.
We got to go to a hockey game last week, which was super fun.
Yeah. Beer's expensive at a hockey game, though.
Oh, my goodness. I thought he was bullshitting me when he told me how much the first round of drinks were, because he bought them by himself. I had to go and just pick it up from the bar. But he's like, yeah, it was $56.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
They were 24-ounce
beers, but they were $20 a piece.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, that's good absolutely beer, insane.
Good beer.
Luckily, good beer. Otherwise, absolute ripoff.
If we just gotten Budweiser, then it would have only been like $36.
I was going to say, at least I can say, okay, it was expensive because it was, more craft brew. If I said I bought $40 worth of Budweiser, that just sounds terrible.
That is true.
So there's that.
That is true.
But
so this spring break, we have been up to not a lot, actually, which has been pretty wild.
Right?
I got a desk. Pretty excited about that.
We have been to IKEA a lot.
Twice. We haven't been to IKEA since COVID started, and we went twice in spring break. The first week of spring break.
Right.
So I got a desk, and I bought 4 shelving units to go with said desk, so I don't have to have my old ass on the floor taking photos anymore.
His knees will appreciate it.
I'm feeling my age.
I deserve a desk, damn it.
Yes, right? And also too, I'm cleaning up a lot of my action figures. I'm putting everything in drawers and all the accessories and getting it off the shelves to declutter a bit. So that it's also easier. So it's like right there. It's like, I want to take a photo, my little Zen zone, versus being like, where the fuck is this thing? Oh, the box is up in our bedroom, but the action figure's in the flex room. Oh, and so I'm not having to climb 2 flights of stairs just to take a photo.
Yeah.
I that's, and I know you
really changing this into your man cave.
Yeah, this is my space.
The nerd cave. We'll call it a nerd cave.
Yeah, right. Hot nerd cave, hot nerd action.
Hot nerd action does happen here, so I guess we'll just leave that one.
Each week, or no, every couple weeks now.
Let's be honest, yeah. Whenever the hell we feel like it, whenever life lets us happen.
But yeah, so that I can actually just I know you had said you were kind of sad about putting away some of the figures, but I'm kind of liking the idea of putting it all down here.
Oh, my figures are out. We're good.
Just because that fact where I could just like the other day, I pulled out one diorama and I took 4 photos, and it was so refreshing just to open a drawer and pull out a couple figures and take a picture and put it away.
Aren't you excited when all your accessory and change pack from Super 7 are actually just out and available for you?
Yeah, this is going to be huge for me.
Game changer.
I've kept all my shipper boxes from Super 7.
Couple of rad action shots brought to you by IKEA.
And right. And all my boxes for my Super 7 Thundercats and Turtles, but I'm gonna recycle them all. I'm gonna let it all go. And I'm gonna pull all the pieces out so I have easy access to it. I've got most of my NECA down here too, and oh, guess what? I can't wait.
Wow, what is the excitement?
Holothon came to TRU Canada.
Oh goodness, yes.
The Target stuff, everything but the Triceratron.
Mm-hmm.
So I got me and Man Ray.
I thought you weren't going to get that.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
But
the excitement. Sorry.
But Jaguar, Usagi, and Dreadmon all came to Holothon in TRU. It is in the mail, man. I am so excited for those Archie figures. That's and for the fact that I actually get a Usagi finally.
Yeah, I can't believe this is actually happening.
Because Super 7 wasn't allowed to do Usagi because of the new show, but NECA was allowed to do it because it was animated based, but then they made black and white versions because they were able to strike a deal with IDW and Stan Saki, but they're still just the cartoon version, just black and white eyes. But yeah,
I wish you could see his face right now.
I fucking ordered them.
Can you hear the excitement?
And they are in the mail, they shipped. They'll get here before my birthday present will.
Yeah, Big Bad. I'm looking at you and your shitty shipping service.
This is the first time it's been crappy.
Maybe the second time, but yes. Can't even blame DHL for it. I'm very disappointed.
But yeah, I was just shocked. I went on TRU the one day because I was bored drinking my coffee, and then they were there.
Katie!
So I'm really excited for this, right? So yeah. So
no, that's very cool because I know how much you like that Slash figure. So.
The Slash figure is dope. So Jaguar and Dreadmon.
I'm actually really excited for those figures because they're super weird and they're super you.
Yeah, they're cats and dogs, and they come with vegetables and fruit.
I know it's not ideal, but can Wonder Woman fight Jaguar?
Jaguar?
Just because it seems like.
Yeah, a Mezco can fight.
I know it's not a cheetah. Before you nerd rage on me, I'm well aware of that. But I don't have one. So,
that is
you know what?
True.
It's going to be a jungle cat anamorphic creature.
Yeah. I ended up getting the remastered Blue Ranger.
Yes, what a find. GameStop had super stocked on a lot of figures. It was very impressive.
Well, because I wanted to get the remastered for the Mighty Morphin because I missed out on Mighty Morphin the Lightning. I'm hoping to be able to sell off or trade my legacy figures because but yeah, we went into GameStop and they had the blue and I was like, sweet. So it's one of the first plastic ones I've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a lot of wasted space in there.
A lot of wasted space. It could be way smaller.
Half the size.
Yeah. His one leg is a little loose. Once I put the helmet on, I can't get the helmet off, so I'll have to heat it up. But that being said, I really like the articulation because it is the Lightning series articulation, and I got all the fucking weapons.
That was really cool to see all the different variations of it.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
So, and he's got the Morpher as well. So I'm happy with it. I probably will try to at least get the Mighty Morphin set. So I have those because I have Goldar and I have King Sphinx and they need someone to battle. right? So yeah.
They've been sitting there like twiddling their thumbs, waiting around for the Rangers to show up.
Yeah. But at least I got Billy. Like that was my.
Well,
my
it was a good start to it. It's someone that is one of your favorite ones, then to just try it out. But I definitely can tell that articulation of them. You look at your original figures here, and they look really cool. But they're just very static, right?
So they can't get in that
crouch and that twist and
twist. It's that diaphragm twist. Right?
Yeah, that makes a big difference, right? So that's very cool to be able to see those. So
yeah,
it's good times. Good times.
One thing that eats up a lot of our time, and we don't talk about it, but we've been going to a lot of drag show stuff and like supporting our local pride society.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons, because guess what? I'm going to say it though, is like America and their drag bands can just go fuck themselves.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
And they're ignorant.
And all their anti-trans bullshit.
Yeah.
And all this.
And
wasting effort and time on things that...
all the time, money you could be spending fixing the education system, the health system, the poverty, the food crisis.
Actually helping all the majority of human beings.
That's where your time should be, Congressman. Not being like, hey, we need to worry about all this other stuff that doesn't really matter. It's 1% of your population. 2% at the most.
Guess what? They're not messing up children. You know who's there's other people that are messing up children.
Yeah.
That you allow freely to just exist.
Yeah, the church. But I'm going to say it.
You didn't say it.
I'm going to say it. The motherfuckers in the church.
I gave Mike too much alcohol. He's just free run.
So, so just so you know, that's where Cup of Red stands. We support that.
If you weren't already aware of that.
We're if you're transphobic, homophobic, racist, you can just fuck right off and stop following us.
Wow.
Just going to say it. Well, you know what? I got to make sure I use my platform properly.
No.
Right?
I totally agree.
Once in a while, Mike hops on a soapbox and he says shit, and it happens, and it's
and deal with it. Mike's on his motherfucking soapbox.
I drug that thing out, and I'm doing it.
We haven't even started really talking about this. Apparently, we have.
We haven't talked for a while.
We haven't talked for a while.
But one of the things that it just burns to see that this is happening, and it's that. There's so much displaced rage and so much displaced everything. Like, okay, literally the other day we were at a drag bingo event, right? And
so, by the way, just defining, drag bingo is a drag queen running the bingo. So the bingo itself is still just bingo, but it's being called by a drag queen. So it's and then you get a show in the middle of it, and it's just a super fun event with a little mini show. So just letting you just defining it.
Yeah. And so
but it's also half the proceeds go to our local Pride Society, which is super awesome. Yeah. So it's a charity event as well.
Which is awesome. So you have to be, of course, of age to play because it's bingo. You win prize money, all that. But because of the location we're at, they're allowed to bring children in at a certain age as long as they're with said parent. Here's how it works. So the queen was like, hey, the song I'm going to do has some profanity in it. Is it okay? To the one person that brought their teenage child. And they were like, yeah, of course. They've heard worse on the playground. And they did their song and dance. Boom. Done. What? Boom. No one was harmed. Everything's cool.
But guess what? The parent has the choice to bring their kid in or not. No one was being forced into it. So, So, whatever.
So, you know what?
There was actually the reason why Mike says that is there was actually people writing in and protesting about it and emailing the company and saying, why are they doing this? And it's like, this is at a bar. So if there are children present, it is the parent's choice to have brought them there. So you don't get to attack the business for it. Mm-hmm. Sounds funny, but if you want to protest, then you go and try to somehow attack parents for making a choice to parent their children. Good luck with that bullshit.
Right? But that's the choice. There's a choice made. The whole, guess what? God gave us free will for a reason, right? And if there's an omnipotent being called God up there,
oh wow,
they gave us a choice.
He's really digging deep on the soapbox. Like really up there. Can I rein you in a little bit? Just
I'm getting down, but I wanted to be aware.
By all means, it's great that you're using this. I mean, I know it's nice to be able to clarify our position, and I know we could have a whole hour podcast talking about this, because I know it's very passionate for you, and we we've really delved into this world. We have a lot of very cool, amazing people that we know in this world, and it's very close to home, and it's very important. Even if it wasn't close to home, it's very important because anyone who is marginalized deserves to have someone stand up for them. And I don't understand. This is exhausting, us standing against people hating people.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine the energy that someone must waste feeling so angry about someone who has never done them actual wrong.
But just by existing. And
like,
trying to live their authentic being.
Because it's not like there's not people actually saying, hey, I was hurt by this type of person.
Yeah.
Because again, any human can hurt another person regardless of how they identify or live their life. And I just don't understand the amount of people that have to decide that some belief told them that they should hate someone else. And I don't understand the energy that goes into it.
Well, think of this. How many queer kids spend their entire life reading and watching heteronormative material?
Mm-hmm.
And does it ever sway them from being queer? No.
Right?
But apparently you're going to experience something queer and just be like, well, I guess I got to do dick now.
Wow.
Right? Like,
really? It just can you use your words a little bit, softer? Okay, let's just be a little bit more intelligent about the expression.
But it's the idea.
It's not going to be, okay, the concept of reading something that has homosexual relations in it and suddenly being like, I've always been heterosexual, but now that I've read this book, now I'm going to be homosexual, doesn't make any damn sense. Because as you say, it makes perfect sense. We aren't conditioned to, I didn't decide that I was heterosexual because a book that I read.
Yeah.
It was there anyway.
Yeah. And
nothing about the world or media is going to change how I feel, and why would it work the other way?
Right.
So
that's
all it's doing is it's just letting someone see that someone else feels like they do. That's what they're afraid of.
It's that value within it.
It's that understanding that they're not the only person that feels that way, and that someone else is living their authentic life, and maybe I can too. That's what those people are afraid of. They're afraid of being able to lose the sway over telling someone that you have to be a certain way, and that they'll find out that there is a better way to live. And it's just so disheartening.
Yeah. But there's my soapbox moment. I know we went off a tangent, but at the same time, I think it needs to be said because
the world is really fucked up right now.
Yeah, it's really disheartening to look at some of the news and stuff like that and see what's going on.
Idiocracy is real.
Yeah, yeah. It's getting worse in idiocracy though.
It is more hateful, not just dumb. It's getting hateful.
It's hateful,
right?
Right. So, but. So if you're a person that is part of the queer community, you got a safe space in us because we care. So.
With passion, apparently.
Yes. With veracity.
Veracity. I like it. Yeah.
So, I am signed up to volunteer with the Pride community.
You become part of the Pride community.
Yeah.
I am very grateful that my company that I work for is a supporter of Pride, and I've already voiced my opinion with the Pride Society that I will be helping spearhead to make sure my company is still supporting them through their Pride Days, and all their social events that they have coming up throughout the year. So I'm very excited for that. So we can make sure we can help both on a personal and professional level.
Yep. So with that, it's spring break. It's spring break. We're going to roll right into what we've watched on spring break. So we found on Netflix, it was called Villains.
Oh, yes.
It starred Bill Skarsgård. It was a strange one. It's supposed to be this little horror movie. Yeah.
As you can tell, this is the start of, so it was super, I found this
It was quirky. It was quirky. It was definitely a quirky one, but it was very much like a talkie, but there was a lot of weird things that didn't
Well,
It didn't really answer questions.
It started with them like robbing a place, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to be the bad guys," and then they stumbled into this house to try to take refuge because they ran out of gas after leaving the gas station they robbed, which was hilarious. So they go into this place, and then they stumble across this girl in this basement, and then this house of psychopaths, and it's like, it was strange.
Like it was definitely interesting. Like if you want like a strange kind of thinking horror without a lot of horror, like psychological.
It was more of a psychological. There wasn't anything like.
But like the things that were creepy was like when like the wife in the situations like on Skarsgård and like
that was uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable. Like you've been a bad boy. Like tell mommy what you want and like. Yeah.
They're fucked.
Yeah,
basically. There was some psychological issues there.
It was like, I don't know if I highly recommend it. I enjoyed watching it. It was
not even highly. Do you recommend it? Just baseline.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like it wasn't.
It feels like it should have been quirkier and almost like more of a horror comedy. Mm-hmm. But it starts off with some very humorous elements and then gets like really dark really, really quick and then gets like violent really, really quick and then just ends. And then ends on like a spring break montage in Florida.
Oh yeah. I was playing Sims during it, so I'm trying to remember now. So there's another, point to it that it was easy to just have on in the background.
Yeah. So, it was well acted. It definitely...
There was some horrific kills in there, though. I remember being like, holy shit, like, what just happened?
It's just at the end, though.
But yeah, that was it. But then it's like really broken people.
Yeah. It's a dark one. Like, it feels like... It looks like it should be all, like, rainbows and unicorns.
You can't quite tell the genre that it's supposed to be in, and that's where the confusion comes from.
And then like the end, iffiness, then the end credits is very like reminiscent of like the Homecoming like Spider-Man credits where it's like animated like punk.
Yeah, that was weird.
Right?
The end credits, I'm like, this does not match the movie in the least.
Yeah. It feels like a fable. Like a cautionary tale of like don't break and enter.
Well, what I was saying, like setting it up, but I was like, it feels like Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but like darker.
I'm gonna wander in here, and then we're gonna see what's gonna happen. And like, I shouldn't have wandered into this place because now I'm going to be eaten. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
That's
pretty much.
Yeah.
So Villains on Netflix. Watcher beware.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, that works.
It wasn't bad, but it was weird, and it left me with questions, but like not like the good kind of questions.
So what you're really saying is we don't recommend it. Find better time use of your time.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you want something weird, there you go.
Wow, there's a whole lot of gray area in that one.
There's a lot of gray area because like I'm still not digested on my
basically, you
thoughts.
were gonna watch it or you were not. Doesn't matter what the hell we said.
Yeah.
That's really where.
Well, if you want something that's dark,
but also light, but also this. And also this.
No, it's dark.
We're not helping.
It's like, yeah. It's very much.
And we're moving to the next movie.
RRR. Rise, Roar, Revolt. RRR. It's on Netflix. It's a Hindi film. Mm-hmm. It's 3 hours long. You should watch the fuck out of this movie.
Holy crap. I cannot recommend this enough.
This thing was...
Like, I actually want to go back and watch it again because it was so fucking crazy epic.
It was so wild. Like...
This held Kiddo's attention the entire time.
Yeah.
That alone is quite impressive, considering it's his first Hindi movie. It was dubbed, yes.
Yeah, it was dubbed.
But, I mean, such a different style of movie.
Like, let's just say, a dude at one point kicks a motorcycle only to flip it in the air, grab onto it, and hit another man with it.
I mean, what else do you want in a movie?
And there's one scene where, like, they're running with the one guy on the other guy's shoulders, and they're shooting guns
and like fighting as
one as a giant 8-foot tall man with like 4 arms and 4 legs. Like,
so My only negative is the fact that it is so long. There was a couple false endings. It felt like near the end, it was like, oh God, it's continuing on. But
Well,
every
when we
time...
paused it at one point, you were like, there's still an hour and a half left.
Oh, yeah. Well, because I didn't understand where the story was going to go. But then once I saw kind of it was a bit of a pattern. I was like, okay, it's got to go back and forth for it.
Oh,
okay,
it literally could be 2 movies.
Yeah, so they did have a little bit of false starts to the false endings. And so I did at one point feel like, wow, but wait, there's more. Oh my goodness. But each of those scenes themselves, once they started going, they were okay and they made sense. But it was a very long movie, but overall, that's not going to, it didn't tarnish the overall experience of it. Just because there was so many ridiculousness of it. And on a dramatic level, like I really loved the story of how it was told and came together and showing that.
Because it's a fictional story of like the British and then like
based on the British and the revolts and the revolutions that were happening. So you have someone, there was some history in there as well that was very brutal of seeing how the English would treat the Indians and, how they were just so beneath them for it. And just the reminder of how terrible colonialism really is. And it just... So that was really interesting. And then you have, some of the locals working for the military and kind of that cross that will happen. But then how that unfolded of the reasonings behind it and that story and how it all kind of bled together was just really interesting. So it was really cool to see it all come together. And then the icing on the cake was just the stupid, crazy action.
Yeah.
It was just so over the top.
It's like cartoon anime action, whereas it's just like things explode and like people fly and like they just
as you said, the motorcycle, like who can do that, right, it's ridiculous
and it's bloody too, like it's rated R and there's a lot of blood in it, like people like arrows to the neck and like, or like when they're fighting like the tigers, like they the guy drives a truck through this gate only to turn the truck. They pull off the sheet and all the cages unlock and all these animals come out and attack this jungle party, right? And at one point we see the guy like fighting the one guy and a deer comes out of nowhere and like spears his arm and blood spraying everywhere, like, and then a jaguar or something takes out this other guy, like it's just... It was ridiculous. It was awesome. Yeah. It was awesome. Like, it was one of those movies that I was laughing while I was watching because the action was so ridiculously, amazingly crazy. Yeah. That it just made me happy to watch the violence. Like, well, because you really felt... It was also justified. Set it up to be very justified. You're like, kill the white man idea, right? Like, it was just like killing Nazis, right? It's like, it's always a good time. Yeah. Like, it's always okay. But just like, and when he finally like gets his legs back and he's like all healed and he comes back all like with flowing long hair and like things, and he's got his like bow and arrow, and they just was amazing. Like, it was so poetic because they have it broken up into like, more acts idea, story, water, fire, and then it all comes together at the end with the water and the fire, and it was awesome because Kiddo was like, wait a second, it's doing this, and I was like, I'm so proud of you that you understood that. Like, again, he amazes me with these epic 3-hour sagas, and he's like, I'm totally down. I'm here for it. Go watch his animated movie. No. Bring on the RRR. Right. But yeah, like, I really like this movie. It was a lot of fun. Like, I'm glad that we finally were able to watch it. So it's been sitting there on just like waiting to watch, and it was like spring break. I'm doing this. I'm gonna watch this. We're like, we asked Kiddo, we're like, so you feel like watching this? It was like 8 o'clock too. Sure. It was so late. Okay, sure. And I couldn't believe how he was fully engaged in it the whole time. So because we gave him the deal. We're like, if you're not digging it, you just go to bed, go read.
Yeah, it's amazing what he'll do when he has the choice of either doing this or
Bed,
going to bed.
read, watch a 3-hour movie. I'm up. I got this, guys.
I got it. Yeah.
But yeah, RRR. It was on Netflix and it was dope. Like, it did, like, as much as, yeah, it felt like 3 hours, it didn't feel like 3 hours.
No.
Like,
it wasn't until the very end, as I say, that it was a little repetitive. Otherwise, I mean, if I hadn't have had to pause it, where I'm actually looking like, oh my God, this is only halfway through this movie. Yeah. Like, it wasn't the I'm bored. It was the I don't know what the story's going to be.
Because it kept changing.
Because it felt
it could have been a series. Like, it could have been like broken up into like 4 45-minute pieces, and it could have been just like a show. Yeah. And you would have been on the wiser.
And it was no different than, it really felt like a play with those clear acts where it's like, okay, this section here, you know? Yeah. So it all worked out good. So if you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it.
RRR, Rise, Roar, Revolt. So the main event for our RADnesia Spring Break is John Wick.
Sorry, I'm distracted with your hair. Is amazing.
Because it was the Chapter 4 came out.
Chapter 4 came out, so we're like, wait a second. We need to watch the other 3. Well, actually,
because it's been since 2019.
We weren't going to, and then you started showing the trailers, and I was like, damn, I really want to watch all these movies again. Yeah. Because it wasn't enough to just watch the trailers, because I understood, like, okay, I'm remembering things. And it was more of like, okay, well, maybe we should watch the 3rd one. And then I was just like, I really want to watch all of them. And then we decided we'd invite Kiddo along.
Yep. So we're going to do this. Okay. Chapter 4, 5-second review.
Chapter 4, 5-second review. Holy crap, he killed a lot of people. But it was awesome.
Feels like a video game. Some scenes drag, but it's pretty damn cool. Definitely, I think I enjoyed it more than 2 or 3.
There we go.
So John Wick 1 came out like
2014, I think it was. Yeah.
So,
which was like, I didn't realize how long ago it really was. Right? I didn't realize how long it's been since Chapter 3. Yeah. So, but I guess Chapter 3 Parabellum.
That pisses me off.
Why the fuck did it have a subtitle when none of the others do? Yeah. Like, it actually, I remember being irritated with it, but then even more irritated that Chapter 4 doesn't have a subtitle.
Well, there's a lot, though, that, like, so, like, Chapter 3 with the Parabellum and, like, the weird James Bond, like, TV theme opening.
The opening is different. Everything's different about that movie.
And yet Chapter 4 has none of that. Like, the John Wick Chapter 4 doesn't happen until the end of the movie.
You're right. Right? Because and the second one, it has a whole opening. Scene, like James Bond, honestly. Yeah. A whole opening thing. Then it just says John Wick Chapter 2, and then it just gets into the movie. There's no big,
There was a little
bit. But like, not like Chapter 3.
Yeah, Chapter 3 just like starts with it. It feels like a TV show.
Yes. So straight. And was it the same director?
All of them have the same director.
That's so weird. Like, what producer came in and be like, can we make it flashier? Yeah. Like, they were playing the stupid card game. Yeah. But wait, what if you did this?
Yeah, Pitchstorm. They were doing Pitchstorm.
Sometimes that makes me feel better. Sometimes it was like, maybe everything is really, Pitchstorm is really how things work. And they're just like, and no, we're going to film
maybe there should be dinosaurs in this. No, there shouldn't be.
Oh, there should be.
If you want the $100 million, there's going to be fucking dinosaurs in this.
Okay, so anyways, John Wick. There was not dinosaurs in John Wick.
So I still think the first John Wick is the best, only because of the simplicity behind it.
I agree with you. As much as watching all of them back to back, the action is very simple in it as well. But it's a simple story. It's very clear. It's very emotionally driven, intense, right? Since it came out, I now am a pet owner. And we have talked about this multiple times on how my emotions are so much more triggered than they used to be. I was so fucking happy he killed all those motherfuckers because I was horrified that that poor dog died. Absolutely horrified. So go John Wick, take them down. 100% justified. Even more so than I ever was before. Like before it was like, wow, he's a badass motherfucker. And this is just like, no, he's fucking totally deserving of doing this. But yes, it's a very simple story. It's a small little world.
Yeah.
You know, it's just man expressing his revenge.
Yeah. Because they killed his dog and stole his car.
Totally understandable. I completely get that.
Yeah.
So while yes, the action wasn't ramped up to 100, it was a clear story.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like, so like 2 suddenly it becomes bigger. The world building starts more, right? Like you go to Rome.
Yeah, you got so many more characters. And as the story progresses all the way up to 4, you realize like it feels like half the fucking world is involved in this underground
everybody
terribleness, right? And you're like, so this is just the government, okay? Like I see how this is.
Well, like it's just it breaks down. Like there's just so much going on.
Yeah.
Right. And like everything's involved, and at any moment everyone's involved, and like you're just watching it all unfold, but you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It feels like a video game.
Every single movie, there has been scenes where I'm like, dude, this feels like I'm watching a video game.
Right.
And especially for you, because you have so many of those ones where you have that open world where you're traveling around, grabbing weapons and looking for art.
Or even like just that idea where it's like, it's like, you know, you've now beaten this, and now suddenly there's armored bad guys, right?
Right. Well, yeah. Half the time those scenes are like, you know, beat the minion so you can get to the boss, and you know, so I think it's so funny because all the way up till 4, you're like, wow, this is the next video game scene right here. That's exactly. It's like,
so like John Wick is the greatest video game adaptation that was never a video game.
Right? It's going to be the video game that comes from the movies.
But they made a video game. It was crap.
They did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're just going to pretend.
I still think that they should use like the Uncharted mechanics.
Yes.
Because like with all the sliding and the climbing and the diving and rolling and like the loadouts and stuff, like it matches to the movies more, and like especially because then you can throw in the punches with it as well. Like it definitely feels like that would be the kind of game it should be.
Yeah.
But they always go like first person shooter, right? Instead of,
and that's not fun. Yeah.
Right? Not with a kung fu action, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I love all the different stuff. I mean, John Wick as a character is just. He's the ultimate badass because he
he's me, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you speak all these languages and know all these types of fighting styles and everything.
Guns. I need lots of guns.
You know what's so funny is like I love these movies and I love Keanu for what he does for them, but then like sometimes he talks and you're like, dude, you're not the best actor. Like, and it's okay.
We knew that in The Matrix when you're going, I know kung fu.
Because it's so funny is because when you say that, you're like, fuck, you sound exactly like Keanu, and it sounds fucking terrible. And it's okay for some reason, because the character that he creates, like, as long as he's still moving and shooting people,
you don't care.
You don't care, right? Because
he's still playing Ted. Or Bill, sorry. No, Ted.
I don't know which one of them, but he's just a machine.
Whoa. I know kung fu. I need guns. Suddenly I realized that I could kill everyone in this room. And I'm going to do it very stoic and quiet.
Yeah.
But I'm going to look really fucking sexy while I do it.
Right? Well, because everyone looks sexy in a suit. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to look like that?
No.
Okay.
That's not true. You have to have the physique to be able to wear a suit properly.
Oh, well, yeah. True.
So not everyone.
True.
Most
men will look just, you put a suit on them and there's an extra level of class to it. But so if you're already an assassin of that nature and then you put a suit on them, Of course it is.
So I need a suit. I
knew that already.
I need to just work in a suit because kids already think I'm an assassin at work.
Yes, and you should just John Wick it. You should just walk into school. You used to have John Wick hair.
I should just walk in and just look at all the kids like this and be like, whoa, you're doing it wrong.
You know what's great too is I think, okay, so on a, let's just go a stereotypical mask.
Sorry, I'm going to stop you. The Bailey's has curdled a little bit. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it still tastes good, but it's weird. It's like it's like our coffee winning. It's
oh, that was pure alcohol.
You look like your head was gonna.
There was nothing left. That was
okay, so on a like bro level for John Wick, like he's just this badass like machine of like, you know, standing up for like just shooting anyone that gets in their way and like this hardcore thing, right? On the like female level, looking at John Wick, he's this perfect man who is literally mowing down the world as revenge for the loss of something that reminds him of his love. Yeah. And he's like the ultimate man. Yeah. Because holy crap. Like, look what he is doing all in the name of love. It is fucking amazing. So, and he's just like the most scarily pure-hearted person ever. The Baba Yaga. Right? Like he's so like loyal and grateful for the people who have actually really cared about him, but he's also so scarily cold-hearted. Yeah. One thing I do love about him, and I had said this while we were watching the movies, is that he doesn't hesitate. Because nothing is worse than a bad guy who will fucking monologue or question things and you're screaming at the screen to just shoot the guy. Yeah. He doesn't do that. He's like, oh, I have a headshot. I could have
shot you in this moment, but I stopped for 1 second to be able to tell you why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling.
The few times that he has actually hesitated a little bit, like he didn't say the fourth one when we talked, it was legitimate and it made...
He hesitated a lot in the third one. And you could see where they were just setting up the stunts.
You're right. That's true.
There was like... I noticed that a lot more this rewatch.
Watching it again.
Where it was like... There was times where you're like, why didn't you just hit him? Why did you back up? And just
you're like, wait a second. This is different than the other ones, right? Because that's one thing I love was his lack of hesitation. But... 1 and 2 had much more guns, and there's no hesitation in that. The third one, full of fucking knives. Yeah. Then there was that change, right?
Yeah. The third one had a lot of knives.
So many knives. And there's a certain extent where they're really interesting to watch because it's a totally different fight, right?
Yeah. But there was a lot more blood in the third one. Like the second
one had all the blood was black.
More black.
Much more dark, so you could tell that they were trying to... Because so then we didn't realize it until we had already promised Kiddo to watch it that it had jumped up to R rating. Yeah. But it was just because of the more violence. But then there wasn't at the same blood level. It was in the dark, in the shadows, and it was black. But in the third one, there was a lot more actual blood.
There's a lot more knives.
Because it was like, very visceral.
Also, like close up of like stabbing in the eyes.
Yeah, that one was a little like... So we watched 3 this morning. So we had a whole John Wick day. I've had like 5 hours of John Wick in my life today.
I killed him, man.
I'm a little fucking amped up because of it.
I mean, like literally, I went on the street and I was just like, I killed 15 people.
Yeah? As you did? I mean, totally. Look what the media did.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fucking John
Wick. As I cowered in the corner when we saw that rat outside the place we had dinner.
Oh, we were at dinner. And I look outside. I was like, shit, he's going to see me looking outside. And he's going to be like, he's going to look over. And I didn't want him to see the giant fucking rat. And I was just like...
It was at least 8 inches long, not counting the tail.
I'm not seeing a rat, but he's going to look. And he looked. Oh. And then he freaked out for the next 10 minutes.
It was going to eat my soul. Oh.
You're so strong. And then a rat shows up outside on the painted other side of the glass wall.
Give me a gun and I'll be fine. I'll show that rat what's up. You know what? There's been rats out by work too, and like I've seen rats run across the street, and it's just like
to drink my little bit of alcohol.
I'm apparently rats are now a thing in our little town. They never were before.
Because you never worked at food industry until now.
But like it's gotten bigger. Like I feel like
no, literally
there's like rats.
No, it's because of the food industry.
They're evil.
I know they are.
They carried the plague, man.
So John Wick, who is not afraid of rats.
How do we know?
Because he has a gun.
And knives. And a bulletproof suit.
He would shoot them.
Yeah.
With his, other implements of destruction that he has.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that was interesting between 1 and 2 had a lot more between obviously the puppy and the puppy in the car, and then the second one with his house, right? You have a lot more like devastation, emotional feeling towards with what he's experiencing, where you're like totally justified for him to be so angry. The third one loses that because you don't have this, you're just riding off of the pain from the second movie. There's nothing new, right? And so even the fourth one, you don't have anything new. While it was nice to not be like freshly traumatized for the start of the movie.
I mean, they could have cut his dick off.
They could have, because what the hell is he going to do with it anymore? Because he's the perfect man and would never consider looking at someone else, right? But the second one was just so fucking devastating with his house burning down. Like, Kiddo was mortified. But there's no fresh trauma for 3 and 4 to really show. It's all just writing.
You know what is refreshing though is that there was never anything that like tainted Helen in the entire series.
Correct. She was still always this beacon of hope. Yeah.
Right? Like they literally,
the light.
Like in television, they would have suddenly been like Helen was part of the table and like was the reason why, and like there would have been like,
she was, there was some like
dark secrets.
Yes.
Right? And I like that it wasn't.
It was really that he had gotten out. It was just a normal life.
Love.
It was actually truly out of everything and
just a normal life.
I mean, there's still a good commentary on the concept that how easy it would be to fall back into this, because I mean, okay, so one thing I will say was frustrating with, like, you feel bad for all the people that have had to now pay for what he was upset about. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's unfair to blame John Wick for it when all it is the whiny little Russian prick of a kid who didn't get what he wanted and had his ego bruised. So it's really his fault, not John Wick's. And then at the same time, all those people have their free will and choice to have helped him or to not. And so I actually found myself irritated today, being like, stop blaming him, John Wick, for everything, when all of these people had their own opportunity to make
the Russians could have stopped it way back and just given the car back.
Right?
And just been like, we're done. It's over. Just go away.
Like, I understand.
But it was their ego that said, well, they killed my nephew.
Yeah. Right? So, like, I keep thinking about this. It's like, no, this is just a fucking snowball that happens because of this world and all the, like... Big dick energy that is in it, right? He had a very legitimate reason to have fought for things, and everyone else that was fighting against him was just for their fucking ego. Yeah. He had no ego involved in this.
He just wanted revenge for his dog being murdered.
A legitimate thing.
That was a cute ass dog. I'm not even a dog person.
Oh my god!
And it was an adorable
this
dog.
Was so much worse the second time around here. Like, I was mortified. I'm like, this is the cutest dog. He's so sweet. He's so attached to him. And then all of a sudden, I realized what was going to happen, and I was just like, oh shit. Oh shit, this is so terrible.
Right?
Like, so terrible. They did such a good job of making it so emotionally upsetting.
Right?
That you, like, I was talking to my coworker and I'm like, this was so harsh. And he's like, yeah, so it makes it okay that he killed the next 100 people. I was like, fuck yeah, it does.
Right?
Like, that is okay. And I think that's what makes the first one so good, is it's such a simple thing. It's a very guttural response. Mm-hmm. And
if someone came in and like killed my cats, I'd be pissed. I'd be going for blood.
Right? Like, it's because if you had the ability to do so, you were trained and you had that skill, That would be really damn hard not to use that.
I'm not trained, and I would.
I know you would. So I think it's really interesting to see, right? But yeah, let's just we should try to find some semblance. I mean, we've just been talking a lot about it all over the place.
That's okay.
Anything else to talk about the first three before we kind of really?
So like,
we don't want to spoil the fourth one.
I really realized how much I don't really like the third one.
Yes.
The third one.
Watching them because we watched them so close. The third one is really not at all. It's definitely to me the worst out of all four of them.
Yeah, it's the weakest.
Yes.
It is the weakest, and it feels like a TV show more than anything.
Yeah.
So that really throws it off. And like it feels like it was supposed to be the end, but then it just kept going.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. So I'm glad that 4 kind of like makes up for
it. Brought
3.
it back to a bit more of the 2 feel, but there's still the big world, but it doesn't have... It has a little bit more seriousness to it.
Yeah, because like that's like with the third one, there was a lot more humor in it.
Yeah,
like
you know,
the fanboying assassin.
The assassin was strange because he was really good at what he does. Yeah, he was scary, but then as soon as he talked, you couldn't take him serious anymore. Yeah. And it was funny for the first moments, and then it was like, wow, this is not okay. Yeah. You're like, now, you're the comic relief, and there should be no comic relief in this.
Yeah. Now, watching all these movies back to back, it made me think that, not that I need it to be R-rated. Like, everyone instantly says, oh, it should be R-rated. I think these guys should make the Ninja Turtles movie.
Agreed.
I think that their ability to choreograph action scenes would be amazing. Especially
so we could have Ninja Turtles?
Right? Ninja.
Imagine that.
There's how many letters in that? TMNT?
Yeah.
Right? Not just T.
Not just Teenage Turtles?
Yeah. I really think they're choreographed, like, especially the Osaka scene in the fourth one.
Yes.
Really showed that with the blades and stuff. Like, really showed.
Well, the arrows and all that. Yeah. Like, it was, and the nunchucks.
The nunchuck scene was amazing.
Shit, that was amazing.
I want to see Mikey do that.
I love that he kept them too, because he didn't just chuck them. It was like, nope, these are going to come in handy.
Yeah.
So much power behind them, and to see what they could actually do was amazing.
That's why they're banned in most places, right?
Yeah, and then you saw that, you're like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Look what someone...
But, like, how is a nunchuck banned, but a gun isn't?
Yeah. Because it's still... A nunchuck literally cannot accidentally go off.
Yeah, and, like, you
can't accidentally use that.
How many videos are on the internet of, like, guys nutting themselves with nunchucks?
You're just going to hurt yourself.
You don't shoot yourself in the dick, right?
You're not going to accidentally be like, oh, I accidentally killed this person with a nunchuck. No, you're going to hurt yourself, and power to you.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest. Yeah. But you accidentally shoot someone.
Yeah.
So yeah, bring back the nunchucks.
The police should just have nunchucks.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
We should all just carry a nunchuck. But yeah, that scene that was one of the scenes that made me think and I was just watching it, and like the scene with
we talked about the fourth one.
The fourth one.
Okay. Let's talk it out. What do we got? Just talk about things. See what happens.
Danny Yen.
Okay. The blind guy.
What was his name though?
Kane.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was kind of like weird.
Because it seemed very British.
Well, no. It just seemed
it does seem British.
It seemed on the tooth for the fact that he had a cane because he was blind. Like, it seemed a little
too. I never thought about that. Well, it's because with an eye, so then it's just automatically British to me.
Automatically British. But like the one scene with him and the other dude when they were there, and I was like, this is the scene where like Shredder and Splinter face off.
Oh yes.
And like April comes to his aid, like,
yes.
I was like, this feels like this could be like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, there was a lot of the Shredder feel.
Yeah.
Well,
even
like,
in the third one.
The third one had the same thing with
like the level
with the art
up.
museum. Yeah, because it looked like he was taking out the assassins, especially those two that were like hardcore, and they felt like foot ninjas. And then he was standing up on the top, just like watching it happen. I was like, holy shit, this is totally like Shredder. And then he opens his fucking mouth, and you're like, not like Shredder. Not cool. Okay.
Right?
That's where we are at.
But yeah, like I was...
But yes, that's exactly what it's like.
And I don't know if it's just my ADHD brain, but I was like, when I'm watching this, I'm like, I need to see these guys do a Ninja Turtles movie. Like a serious... Doesn't need to be R-rated, but a serious Ninja Turtle movie.
Well, in general, the action scenes in this would work out for so many things. James Bond should be more like John Wick.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine a James Bond that had the same unrelenting stamina and energy and willpower that John Wick has?
Yeah.
That's what James Bond should be.
Yeah. Throw in some crazy action scenes and some cars.
Throw in the charisma, because John Wick doesn't really have charisma, obviously. Throw in that. That would be like the perfect thing,
right? Well, the fight scenes with as for Bond would be amazing. Right? Like just those.
I also want John Wick to play a Jedi. By the way,
you just want these guys to make like
everything
a Jedi.
It's an action movie. You go get that.
Well, I think that's the thing that makes it successful though, is because there's so many practical effects in it versus we're in an era where there's so much CG and there's so much like green screen where this is so like
close fight, just fighting.
But like there's also no shaky cam, like there's no Bourne Identity like fight scenes.
Yes.
There's like it's pulled back. Like you're watching them
actually fight, right?
Like they're having
and that was the one thing also too with 3. Like there was that one scene like with the dogs. Like it was fun to add the dogs into it because it was kind of funny to see them.
Oh, you could see the map.
But you could see. Like I felt like I was at Universal watching like the stunt show of them running up the ramp and hitting them and landing on the mattresses, and it was all fit, so it fit the scene.
Yeah, and
it made sense. None of it looked out of place, but you still look at it and you're like, wow, that was just a stunt scene set up like that. So again, practical, which is great, better than CG by all means. But there was a lot more scenes like that where that was the only issue with adding the dogs and everything is that you have to add this more setups for things, right?
And there I am going like, man, I want to make a movie.
Oh, I totally understand. I get it.
I just need to make a movie. I'm just going to film my own movie. I'm just going to beat somebody up.
Yeah?
Like,
Can you get their permission first?
Yeah.
Okay, Jesse, we're looking at you. You and Mike are gonna fight.
Yeah, well, he's bigger than me, so then it makes sense. He could be the big guy.
The concept of you and Jesse fighting is hilarious.
It'll just be a little
because the ADR on that stuff. Like I'm trying. Like half the time I was watching this, I was like, what do these fight scenes actually sound like? Because there is so much ADR after all this of like how loud their punches are. And how loud all their grunts are and everything. I'm like, I've never watched two guys beat the crap out of each other. Yeah, maybe they are that loud. I don't know.
They're not.
But I don't think they are.
Yeah, me and Jesse should film a fight scene. You want to film a fight scene? We'll do a fight scene somewhere.
I will definitely film
We could do it at the
I can't even imagine you guys fighting.
Oh, it'll be a
fake stage one.
Yeah.
But I can't even imagine that.
I think it'd be amazing.
Because I've never seen Jesse look anything but happy. So him looking
perfectly
angry
he could be like
fight. He'd be like the crazy ass guy that's just like, fuck yeah, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
I don't know, just lean into the happiness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll just film a fight scene. There'll be lots of like
You're the wiry guy that's like
and
you never know what's gonna happen.
Take him down and like,
So what else did we for number 4? The other thing is this made us so Skarsgård played this marquee character. Yeah. So he's like an enforcer of like he's the high table itself, and he's like the separate little thing because we're adding something else to the high table and the scary ass world that they are. So he's a separate little French entity, marquee French entity of enforcement, right? But his outfit, I loved his sparkly suit, by the way. But as you had brought up, he would make an amazing Joker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With his ridiculous height and lankiness. Like he's got the world's longest legs.
He's so tall.
And then you add in
he seems tall.
His suit to it, right? But then Skarsgård himself, like you think about this and how he played Pennywise, he's got that creepy but persuasive charisma and positivity, but also really scary.
He's 6'4".
When he would, he's ridiculous.
He's 6'4".
He's like the world's longest legs. He's mostly legs.
Yeah. So.
I think 6 feet of it is legs.
6 feet.
I think if I stood next to him, I would be like at his like rib cage. That's where I would be like. But he would be a really good Joker because he would be fucking creepy as hell. But also you're like...
He's 3 feet. He's not 3 feet. He's 3 inches taller than Keanu.
Oh my God. And Keanu seems so tall too.
Because Keanu's 6'1".
Yeah.
So...
But yeah, he's just, whenever you saw him in that, it's like, he's just so long.
And I'm assuming there's also the choice to film it like that.
Oh, yeah.
They always do like more angles on
the
him.
Outfits too, right? You can make the outfits very high pants.
Long tails.
Right? Yeah, so it exaggerates it, right? But,
oh yeah, no, totally.
Clancy Brown was in the fourth movie.
Mr. Krabs showed up.
Mr. Krabs showed up and was like running everything. Like calling the shots.
You guys.
Oh right. I was like when he first showed up, I was like, he looks familiar. And then he talked, I was like, holy crap, it's Clancy Brown.
Right? Like it's weird to see when Clancy Brown does face
right?
acting.
Because all I can hear I just hear him.
Yeah.
So if I close my eyes, I'm like, all the characters are running through my head.
Luther shows
all
up.
I hear is there was a mix between Mr. Krabs and Luther, depending on what was happening.
When he got angry, it sounded more like Krabs, right?
Yes, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, when he was all serious, it was like, holy crap, Lex Luthor just walked in. And then he was angry, and you're like, holy crap, Mr. Krabs is losing money. It's fucking amazing. He's a man I wish we could meet. We've met so many.
I wonder what he would be like.
I want to meet Tim Daly too. I need to meet. So I got my Batman. Well, and then I also need to meet Mark Hamill. So you know what? It's pipe dreams, but
I don't know.
Pipe dreams, man. One day. I wonder
if Mark Hamill would actually be like okay to meet, or if it would just be like,
or if he would be a disappointment of meeting your idol idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clancy Brown seems like he'd be cool.
Especially if he said you were like visiting for Mr. Krabs, then he probably just turns into like jovial old man.
No, I want to meet Lex Luthor. Fuck Mr. Krabs. I want to meet Lex Luthor.
Ah, Mr.
No,
Krabs,
I want to meet
Lex
Luthor.
Mr. Krabs.
He's the cool Lex Luthor. He's the best one. That is Lex Luthor right there.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That is Lex Luthor.
You went hardcore.
I did. Like
the vein in your neck is like just like there's a little bit of a vein in your forehead, and you're just like.
Way more than I was expecting.
Fuck Michael Rosenbaum.
Okay, I would make Michael Rosenbaum in a second.
You do other things with Michael Rosenbaum, so.
Can I bring Tom Welling in with it? Or so
no.
Why not?
No. This is not for your OnlyFans. I mean, come on.
You're the one that brought it up. I did not.
Mm-mm.
The rabbit holes we go down is crazy.
That's a new TV show, too.
Okay, have you seen the ad for this rabbit holes? It's just 24 done over again.
Yeah. Just he's John now, not Jack.
I mean, I never watched 24, so but this is what it looks like. Yeah, he's John, not Jack. But it literally looks like 24 again.
Yeah.
He looks like the exact same thing.
That's the Pitch Storm idea.
Right?
What if we got Kiefer Sutherland to star as John in a FBI show on streaming? What are we going to call it? Holes? Rabbit holes. Yes, there's so many rabbit holes around.
Right? See, look at what you learn.
But John Wick, it's a solid series. It is. For the most part. Like, yeah, it's got a little ups and downs, and for 4
Okay,
felt
so,
long because it
Let's
was
talk
almost
a little
3
bit more-
hours.
We don't want to spoil it.
It was
but
almost
yes.
3 hours. It was almost 3 hours, right? But like it did feel long.
There was only one scene where I was actually.
This
I
scene
wasn't
didn't
even.
bug me as much as it because I just saw it as a video game. Like this would have been a really fucking frustrating level.
I
but-
was so fucking angry. I was like, Mike, oh my God. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. Oh my
Maybe
God.
you wouldn't have been so frustrated if that person's phone hadn't kept going off
It might have been it. There was some asshole on the screen in the theater.
on the screen.
On the screen in the theater that their text message kept going off repeatedly. Like 50 fucking texts, it felt like.
It was maybe 10.
By this time, if your phone makes this sound, check your fucking phone to make sure that it's off. I don't care if you think it's off. Check your phone. It was an iPhone sound. I know that because my work iPhone makes this sound. So if I had an iPhone and I was like, maybe it could be my phone, I would check my phone. It was so frustrating because, oh my God. So other than that, that might have led up to some of my frustrations, but I was also very irritated with their complete lack of, let's pretend that 2 minutes can take 10 minutes of screen time. That was irritating.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool scene, but it just seemed like really hard in a video game because it was like he had to walk.
Well, yeah, I can imagine if you were playing this that you would be fucking swearing at the TV. But that being said, once I realized, like, calm down, Katie, you know it's going to be okay. And you know that they're not going to run out of time, even though they're pretending like time is in, forever. You know everything's going to be fine. Then I was like consciously telling myself to calm down, and then I was okay. And it was really cool afterwards. And that was cool.
Okay.
That was cool. So, but otherwise, I mean, it was only one scene that I actually got really frustrated at. So the rest of it was okay. It was good. Yeah. So
there was a lot of great action. Like there was a lot of great action.
Really good fights. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it fell more into where the level of, honestly, if they'd only made 2 and it was like John Wick and John Wick 4, I think it would be a pretty good solid series.
Yeah.
2 and 3 has it. It's like world building. It makes it like extra fluffy.
So we're gonna say 1, 4, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 4, 3.
1, 4, 2, 3.
Yeah,
that's what I would say for my enjoyment of them.
I would say so too because
like
I think
2 and 4 are very similar.
I liked that 2, as I say, gave a bit more of a catalyst for the reason why he does something.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it was. It dragged on in different places, right? Yeah. So I think 4 almost had more of an interesting amount. It wasn't, there was some world building, but at the same time, there was just a lot of
carnage,
fluffy kills, right? Where it's just like random strangers. I would love to know
the actual like
the kill count. There was very few like people that you knew that he killed, right? It was all just based on the increasing bounty. So that was really interesting. I really did like that. Lawrence Fishburne's character, let's just make a comment on that one and how fucking crazy he is. And he plays it so well. Like, he just kept leaning into it. Every single movie, it just got a little bit more insane. I thought that was quite interesting. So.
There's too much to read on this.
The scene at the nightclub in 4, that guy took forever to die. And that...
Nightclub in 4?
The German in Berlin. The big guy.
That guy was like a combination between like...
It was like the Juggernaut.
He was like the Penguin meets Kingpin.
Yes. And that was overwhelmingly like a lot. But they definitely, once they found their like art room that they had, they really liked those different like club type fancy scenes of things happening around their fights.
Yeah.
It was definitely a kind of a calling card.
Yeah.
For the show, for the movie, right?
So for the trilogy before fourth came out, 299 people had been killed.
By John Wick himself? Or just overall? I mean, granted, he killed most people in the movie, so I can't...
So John Wick features 77. And then 94 in...
There was actually vehicles in this fourth one, which was fun to see again.
Yeah, to see the driving again, right?
Yeah. I mean, the doors again didn't last very long. I would like to know how many times he gets hit by a car.
Oh, God.
In just this fourth one alone, not to mention the whole saga. So I was telling Mike, I was like, there's got to be people who can do this must have a physiological advantage of not being able to feel pain or like higher adrenal glands or something. Something has got to be different than the average human being, for it can't just be their sheer willpower. There has to be something about their physiology that allows them to have this willpower. So I've decided that John Wick can't really feel pain. Because the amount of times he got hit by a car is fucking ridiculous.
This article says 77 people died in the first movie, 128 in the second, 94 in the third, and numbers coming in 140 in the fourth.
140 I completely agree with on that one.
So...
But I mean, there's a lot of people that die without John Wick's hand too, right? Especially in that opening. They go to, you see a different Osaka Continental and right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the different people. But even in the third one, right? There's, you have that attack of the assassin group attacking his family and all that sort of stuff too, right? You have a lot of deaths, so that you add more people killing more people in those different movies, right? I'm surprised that having the lower number in the third one, but because of all the different places and the different groups, and you add more people killing people.
There was more talking though, right?
Yeah. So, but overall, I mean, I really am happy we went and saw a fourth one in theater. It's been fun rewatching the whole saga. As much as I have my complaints about the third one, it was still overall a good saga and a good franchise. And it's been a really enjoyable, fun, crazy ass killing spree.
We found out that on our streaming, it was available through Crave, Amazon, Netflix, Hollywood Suite.
Yeah, anywhere you want it.
Yeah.
We got John Wick.
So 1 through 3 is most likely available on something you've got, so check it out. 4 is in theaters.
Yeah.
So give that a ride if you want to see people die.
For very good cause. Very good cause. Puppy.
Going forward, I don't know what we're going to do for the rest of the spring break. We've only got 5 more days of spring break left, so we'll see how it goes. If we can break out any more RADnesia. I know we've got coming up Dungeons and Dragons. And then later in the April here, we've got Evil Dead Rises.
Right?
So
we got Mario movie. We already have tickets for that. I bought the Cine Club movie pass because we realized, holy crap, there's a lot of movies this year. So making sure we can go and see all of those and we'll
be doing a lot more new movies again finally.
I know, it's very exciting.
So I say, we've got Dungeons and Dragons, Mario, Evil Dead, Guardians. That's the next month here,
right?
Planned out. That's more movies than we have done episodes in the last 2 months. So
right. So we'll just keep trying to find things in between, and I'll see you around. So
give us a like, give us a share, give us a review, give us something.
Tell everyone how rad we are.
Yeah.
Because who else? Of course, everyone
fills your ear holes with magic and mystery.
To us, it's all part of your history.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
And remember, stay rad.